Oh, whatever. All right, so we're going to continue with what we did yesterday whenever we were having our technical difficulties. Hire Patrona, please, sir. So question today is about the temperature. We said for all these gas laws, which today we're not really learning a law. We'll start that on Monday. But for all the gas laws, the temperature has to be in a specific scale. Does anybody remember what scale that is? Kelvin, exactly. Oops. Has to be in the Kelvin scale. And it's real easy whenever we start doing these, Anita, if it's given to you in degrees Celsius, you just add 273 to it to change it to Kelvin. So it's going to be a really easy conversion as we do some of those problems. Can you do it? Yes. Need some Kleenex? There, paper towels, or I thought I had Kleenex. But get you some paper towels. Doesn't matter. Whatever you need. All right. So if you'll take your pink sheet out. If you take your pink sheet out, and for my virtual, the pink sheet is the reference sheet that we're going to use, and it's under here, under notes, gas laws reference sheet. We're not going to be using everything on here, but we will be using some things on each side. And today we're going to use the pressure conversions. Pressure isn't something that we've really worked with a lot, and it's used whenever we talk about our gases, because gases and particles are far apart, so they can be manipulated by pressure. If I increase the pressure, it pushes them closer together and the volume would decrease. If I release the pressure, it goes farther apart and then the volume gets bigger. So if you want to mark on your pink sheet, these are what we're going to be using today. These are your pressure conversions. And then if you'll add on the other end, 760 torr, T-O-R-R. This is on your pink sheet. Yep, on your pink sheet. Torr and millimeters of mercury are always the same. If I have 5 millimeters of mercury, I also have 5 torr. Torr was just added later, and it's in reference to some guy's last name. So we're going to be doing some conversions where you're given a pressure in one unit and you need to convert it to the other. It's kind of like 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. The numbers are different because the units are different. If you're using atmospheres, the 1 always goes with it. If you're using millimeters of mercury, the 760 goes with it. Kilopascals, the 101.3 goes with it. And torr, the 760 goes with it. So once you're using those different units, that particular number has to go with it in the conversions. Got a minute to catch up on that if you need to. All right, are we good? So if you'll get your worksheet out that we did yesterday, we're going to do our examples on that. So for my virtual students, I changed the date. It says daily work number 2, which really just only one daily work. But for actually, I think we're on daily work number 1. Yeah, this one I need to delete. Daily work number 1, it has the right date. So it should look like this. All right, so on all of these, we're just going to do a conversion. So I'm going to do a few examples. This is what you're starting with, that pressure in that unit, and you want to convert it to that unit. So these are all little one-step dimensional analysis. Don't get panicked. It's not a bunch of steps with stoichiometry. You start with what you're given, just like we always have, which is 6.2 ATM. And I want to convert it to torr, Torr. Whatever my units are here, they have to be the same down here. So once you've done all that, then that's when you use your pink sheet to get the numbers that go in front of these units. What number always goes with atmosphere? 1. And what number always goes with torr? 760. So once you've done that, then you just multiply across. And in this case, divide, and you always divide by on the bottom. This case, it's just 1, so we don't really need to. So did y'all get 4,712? And my units would be torr. It's that easy. If you have millimeters of mercury and you're trying to convert it to torr, or if you have torr and you're trying to convert it to millimeters of mercury, those are the same thing. So you don't have to do any work on those. If I have 105.6 millimeters of mercury, then I also have 105.6 torr. Torr and millimeters of mercury will always give you the same answer. Just going to kind of jump around and look at a few different types. Okay, so my given 600 millimeters of mercury, I want to convert to kPa, kilopascals. If I'm millimeters of mercury here, then I have to be millimeters of mercury down here. And now that I've done that, I'm ready to put my numbers in. What number always goes with kilopascal? If you look on your pink sheet. 101.3, that's off your pink sheet. And what number goes with millimeters of mercury? 760. Anthony, do you have your phone out, sir? Okay, you sure? Okay, so now we're going to multiply across 600 times 101.3. And this time we do have something besides a 1 on the bottom. So then I need to divide it by 760. And you get a real long number. You can do 2 places past the decimal. So we would get 79.97 in my units are kPa. Why don't y'all give number 5 a try?
Number 5 stays the same, right?
No, sir.
So you got torr in the front.
But that has to be torr to millimeters of mercury or millimeters of mercury to torr. Yeah, I think it's flipped up. Yeah. Yes, he is. He is very fast. Torr, and I want to get to atmospheres, right? And if this is torr, so 760, yeah. And 1. So we have 850 divided by 760. Yes. 1.1 or 1.11 ATM atmospheres. The two places past the decimal, we can do it. But maybe if you would have put 1.1, I'm not gonna. I don't. I mean,
There's always multiply.
but yeah, carried a couple places. It's kind of a good idea, Xavier. Like, kind of if that since we started with 3, it's a good idea for your answer to end in 3. That's kind of like a general rule. Yes, ma'am.
So the only one you don't have to do
Is if you're going between torr and millimeters of mercury. Whether you're given torr and changing it to millimeters of mercury, or whether you're given millimeters of mercury and changing it to torr. So like number 7, if you have 48 millimeters of mercury, you also have 48 torr. Yes, ma'am.
you wouldn't round the 1 to 2.
I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I didn't look at my number that well, Abriel. Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. 1.12. Is that what you were trying to tell me? I'm sorry. Yes. I rounded incorrectly. I wasn't paying attention. Yes.
Like you multiply from the side first,
Multiply across the top, and then you divide by if anything on the bottom. And sometimes it'll just be a 1. You don't have to worry about it, but sometimes it will be a number.
Can we work it at least like in 2 groups?
Can I do what?
Can I work like in 2 groups?
If you want to work in 2 groups of your work,
Don't mind? Thank you. Okay, the 7th?
where are you going to work? Just work right there. You can, if you want to sit this desk or turn it around.
So number 1 will show you what has to be melted.
I can see number 7 from there. I can't see number 4. Yeah, it'll be the same thing. Tabitha, you want to do the? You want to take your test,
Oh, I didn't come in, so you're going to try me. I forgot about
and then because then if you don't have time, you can always finish that over the weekend. Would you rather do that and get it over with?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I need to go back and open it up for you. And it's open notes. It's your stoichiometry notes. Quiz. Virtual students, y'all have any questions for me? All right, when you get through, then be sure and turn it in.